Hey guys, it's Angelique, also known as The Light. I'm thinking of changing my channel name to Metaphysical Goddess, which is what I go by. I love The Light. I'm still The Light. But I don't know. I might change it to Metaphysical Goddess. I think I started this YouTube channel when I was 32 in 2015. Um, and yeah, 2015, yeah. So it is a little emotional that I still have this channel and I'm going into my 40s and I'm like, do I really want to keep this channel in my 40s? I don't know, My life is going through a lot of changes right now. This year is whooping my ass. I haven't had a bad year like this in a long time. As the months are going by, it's getting worse, okay? But sometimes when you're going through a lot, it means that some major change is coming. But I'm so grateful to be 40. Unfortunately, I will not be going to Mexico. Can't afford it. Didn't get the donations. I ended up getting some money back in March. So thank you to those who did donate back in March. That's what I bought the plane ticket with. And then I got some more donations in May, but that couldn't even cover the rest of the trip. So financially, I thought I was going to be able to pull it, and abundance just didn't come in. It's August, and still my finances has not changed. Nothing has changed. Business is still bad. Um, you know, Putting out content still is not bringing in the money. And I'm, job hunting now and probably going to be going back into the 9 to 5 world. So that's where I'm at right now. And you might see less and less of me online once I start working a 9 to 5, pretty much. I was devastated, already cried about not being able to go to Mexico, but at the same time, I'm thankful to be alive. I don't look like what I've been through. I've had I don't want to say, I'll say challenging life for someone who's young. 40 is young, by the way. And 40 with no children and no husband is even younger. Okay. I am just wowed. I'm amazed by myself. I really am. I might cry in this video, but I'm just amazed by myself of everything that I've overcome. And alone. Of course, God by my side, my angels, my spiritual team. Just I'm just like, whoa. I'm obsessed with myself. I am. I'm not like with my looks. I'm obsessed with how strong I am, how powerful I am, and everything that I've gone through. Like, it doesn't even make any sense to me sometimes. Now, what I do here, which I think is funny, is, the world tries to make women, they're so old at 40. 40 is so young, all right? And when people, number one thing I keep hearing is, oh my God, you're 40? You look so young. You look so young. And I'm like, I am young. All right. Don't start calling me old until like I'm like maybe when I reach like 70, then start calling me old. um but looking younger runs in my family, so that is a blessing. So it is genetic. But as well, I think that when you are a pure person is going to show, you know, um, most of the evil people I know, they could be attractive, but you can kind of see this ugliness on them or something in their eyes or they smell or something like that. So even though I have dark Scorpio moon energy, I still think people see my beauty, meaning my light, right? And I think when you are a good person, you're going to age a little bit slower. And again, I also didn't get married. And I think that also slowed my aging down. A lot of people, like I know it's my peers, the married ones and the ones with a couple of kids, they look 50, 60, and we're only 40. People I went to school with, grew up in a neighborhood with, or grew up in church with, they look older than me. And I'm just like, this is not the same person I was in eighth grade with, So it is a blessing. I do feel younger than 40. If I would say I feel at least 10 years younger. Yeah, I feel like maybe 30. I don't feel 40, definitely. And that is probably the reason why I attract 30-year-olds, between 27 and 30-year-olds. I haven't had like a man my age really approach me in a long time. My last lover was what, 28, 29. So yeah. But let's see. Now that I'm 40, let's see if I can attract a man that is my damn age, so that maybe y'all can marry me off and I can have a child before I leave this planet. So let me tell you what I learned in my 30s. How was my 30s? Okay. First of all, I want to say my 20s was atrocious. Okay. I paid a lot of karmic debt in my 20s. A lot happened to me in my 20s. My 20s was horrible. I had a lot of fun in my 20s, a lot of sex in my 20s, but it was horrible. Both my parents died in my 20s. I did some healing work in my 20s. I had to excommunicate with all of the step family, a family that I grew up with, because a narcissistic stepfather, I realized that he abused me as a child, sexually abused me. I had to let go of a lot of friends. I was betrayed by a lot of friends in my 20s. Even my childhood best friend, I was betrayed by her. The list goes on. I was R-word twice in my 20s. Um, you know, just a lot happened. So much happened. Didn't get my inheritance after my father passed away. My grandmother stole from me. It was just so much. I can write a book based on my 20s alone. All the mistreatment from friends, from family. But you know what? I needed it. I needed it. I needed it. It helped me grow. By the time I hit my 30s, I remember my 30th birthday, I went to a poetry club that I had been frequently going to, and no one knew that I'd been writing poetry since I was about 15. And I wrote this poem about a guy that I was digging, but then I found out he had a woman. And I went up there for my 30th birthday and I did this poem. I don't even want to tell y'all what the poem was called because it's so trashy and tacky, guys. But that got me a lot of attention, and I actually performed poetry for a couple of years at that particular poetry spot, open mic night spot. It was a lounge, but they would have poetry on Tuesday nights there. And they would have comedy and all this stuff. Sadly, it closed during the pandemic, but I performed my poetry there. And in 2015, I started my YouTube channel. 2016, what did I do? Oh yeah, I wrote a poetry book, which is on Amazon. And it's not the best, but it's something that I always wanted to accomplish. It's still on there. It's called Woman by Angelique Renee. It's still on there. I think they had it on sale for like $5. It's paperback. And then if not, it's probably $10. But it's a cute book. I read it sometimes. My emotions are documented. So this is what I did in my 30s so far. Oh yeah, my grandmother did pass, and my narcissistic grandmother passed in 2015, and that changed my life because she left her home, one of her homes, to me and her son and I. And to live in a home in New York that's paid off is a huge blessing. So that changed my life. So I don't have to pay rent. I got to pay bills, but I don't have to pay rent in New York, which is a blessing. So that happened in my 30s. I never wanted to be a homeowner. So to become a homeowner in my 30s and I didn't have to pay for the house was huge, you know. And she did leave me some money, that money's been gone, but I was able to take some of that money and develop and travel and just do what I needed to do. Pay bills, do things, do things that I normally couldn't do in my 20s. I was super broke in my 20s. Um did I have any loves in my 30s? So I only loved two men in my 30s. I dated a guy in 2015, but unfortunately, he was a narcissist. I met him in 2009 when I was in my 20s, but we rekindled in 2014 and started dating between 2014 and 2015, which it wasn't going to last because I was stronger. I wasn't who I was before in '09, so he couldn't manipulate me. He wanted to get me pregnant and all this crazy stuff. And I was just like, bro, no. And we broke up. And he never tried to contact me after that, which is good. And it's good when a narcissist doesn't try to contact you anymore. So I needed him to come back. Sometimes you need these ex-lovers to come back to basically show you who you are and who you're not anymore. And that was the lesson. So I had also, when I had started the YouTube channel, I began to I talked about narcissism mostly in the beginning. And then maybe about a year or two ago, I started talking about chosen ones and more spirituality. That was another thing. By the time I hit 30, I had left religion. I was a Christian for years. I grew up in Christian Seventh-day Adventist faith. And it was almost like something knocked on the door one day. It was just like, you're living a lie. I always knew in my heart that I didn't believe in Christianity. I didn't believe in the doctrine. I didn't believe everything in the Bible. I knew that since I was a child. So I'm just so thankful that I had the strength to do that because majority of my friends were Christian. Some of them didn't want to talk to me anymore. When you leave religion, that changes everything, right? What do you mean, Jesus isn't your savior? What do you mean, you don't believe in the Sabbath day? Excuse me. So there was a lot of changes made that I had to do. It is pouring outside. It sounds like a tsunami. Oh my goodness, a hurricane. So I left religion and I don't regret it. I just started growing super fast. As soon as I left the church, as soon as I left religion, me personally, I think some people, I think some people are better off in religion, but for me, spiritually, I grew super fast. So my spiritual gifts increased, my knowledge increased, my relationship with God increased, my relationship with my ancestors increased. So much changed. And people were always like, oh, what books did you read? I didn't have to read a lot of books because it was mostly about relationship with self and relationship with God. And when you have that relationship with self and God, you're tapping into your magic and you will get spiritual downloads. So a lot of information that I know comes from my life experience or literally spiritual downloads. Wow, it is like super raining. Um, what else did I do in my 30s? Yeah, so I really did not have a love. So I had that boyfriend in 2015, the narcissist. I learned that lesson from there. Then in 2020, yes, from 2015 all the way to 2020 is where I met this guy, and he's a Virgo. I can't stand Virgo men. But there was just something about him. Like, he just kept coming at me. And I remember he had like DM'd me because we've been following each other on Instagram for like 6 years or some crazy years. We have been following each other. And I don't know. He was just like being overly sexual in my DM. And I said, "You be sexual in my DM one more time, I'm going to curse you out and I'm going to block you." He said, "Okay, I'm going to stop. But when I get back in New York, can I take you out on a date?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." He was like, "Are you serious?" And that's how we started dating. Unfortunately, we didn't last for many reasons. But it's crazy. We still do care and love each other. That's what I will say. So I do find it fascinating how did I go my whole 30s not being like in love? How did I go my whole 30s without getting pregnant? And I'm going to call my 30s isolation room. My 30s was really about healing. Healing. I always say, "Oh, I'm a goddess. I'm a goddess. I'm a goddess." I really became a goddess internally. Okay, internally. I even look different. Not just because I lost weight. Oh yeah, how could I forget? And I even had weight loss surgery a year ago, which I never thought I was going to do. And so far, I've lost 75 pounds and plan to lose more in the future. It's not as easy, even with the surgery, it's not easy to lose weight depending on your body and things going on with your body. But I am proud of myself. But how did I not fall in love or get pregnant? I didn't date much. I didn't date much. So I'm going to call my 30s the isolation room. I was celibate at least 3 years out of my 30s, not consecutively now, but I was celibate at least 3 years out of my 30s, in my 30s. And I think I spent at least three of my birthdays alone in my 30s. And it was necessary. When you're alone, you're going to grow spiritually faster, and you're going to get a lot of healing work done. And I don't think that I would have gotten all this healing work, all this generational curse breaking. I don't think that I would have got it done if I was in a relationship, because the truth is, when I'm into a guy, I want to fix him. I'm always thinking about him. I always want to fix him, or he becomes like a bit of a project for me. My lover does. My lover does become a bit of a project for me. And I think God is aware of that. And that's something that I myself would like to break out of. He doesn't become my life, but emotionally, I think I still want to fix people because I couldn't fix my parents. And that's the truth. And I think a lot of us do that. I need to do a video also on positive projection because I've done that. But I loved my 30s besides the lack of money. I loved my 30s. I traveled in my 30s. I finally, went to another country by myself. I remember spending my birthday in Miami alone. I think that was like my 36th or 37th birthday. Um, Traveling alone to other states, traveling alone to other countries was amazing. And I will recommend it. if you are a street smart type of person, if you have good instincts. It's not for everybody. I think some people are a little slow and could end up getting hurt. So I don't think traveling alone is for everyone. But start off maybe with another town or, another city or another state or another part of your country, pretty much. Um, I think there was like something that just clicked in my 30s because of my changes of like not caring what people thought of me anymore, loving myself. It made me alone. And say lonely, alone. I probably can count my friends on one hand, if that. When New Year's Eve comes, I don't get New Year's Eve texts. I remember my phone used to freeze on New Year's Eve because of all the text messages that I used to get and phone calls I used to get. My phone doesn't blow up anymore on holidays. I don't celebrate holidays. It's another thing. I dropped holidays in my 30s. I let go of holidays, which is awesome. Save a lot of money. But I don't get calls and texts for my birthday. I probably get more love from people online than I do in life. But yeah, my 30s has been alone, isolation box. What I want for my 40s. So in my 40s, I'm manifesting a relationship. I don't have to marry him necessarily, but I can change my mind if they want to marry me and I want to marry them. I'm willing to do that. I'm open to marriage, but it's not something that is necessarily something that I need. I don't need to be married to love someone. I want a loving relationship with a man that's not going to try to douse my fire out because most men that I date try to douse my fire out. I'm too much, I'm too bright spiritually or even personality wise. They want to control me or belittle me so they can feel comfortable in my presence. So that is my manifestation prayer, is to manifest a man that is going to adore me for my inner light, pretty much. I want to become a mother in my 40s. I want at least one child, but I kind of feel I have two children that wants to come through me, a boy and a girl. I want to become more financially stable because my money is always going up and down, and that's something that happens in my family. I think it's a generational curse, to be honest with you. So that is something I want to break, that financial generational curse. Definitely. I want to move out of America in my 40s. I want to live in a country where I could be near beach. I want that island life. Yeah, that's what I want. I want to become healthier. I want to become wiser. I want to become finer. That's what I want. I want to get some writing done. I want to drop a couple of books in my 40s. Not poetry books, but more like self-help books, stuff like that, a memoir, and a couple of other personal things that I'm not going to say on the video that I want to manifest, but those are the things that I am truly looking forward to my 40s. Oh, yes, and I want to manifest healthy female friendship, but I'm not taking any friendship applications at this time because I realize I have some healing work to do. I have a lot of trauma around surrounding the type of relationships that I have with women. Women really broke my heart. They did. A lot of women broke my heart. So I'm not taking any friendship applications at this time. I just want to attract women to me that don't want to project onto me, that don't look at me as perfection and they want to compete. I just want to be around women who love themselves, who are spiritual, and who aren't male centered. I don't like women who are man crazy. I don't like that shit. You know, I'm just looking forward to my 40s. I want to travel more. Um, I just want peace. Right now, currently, I'm in a situation where I have to live with somebody who has severe mental illness. So I hope soon God will remove me from that situation, because it's been about 8 years of me and this person living together. They don't have any family. I'm the only family that can overlook this relative. So I'm asking God to take me out of this situation so I can move on my life and live peacefully. That's what I want for my 40s. So before I close out, what are some things I can tell you in life? Heal. Heal. I wish I healed sooner. I wish I healed. I started my healing journey in my 20s, because I went and messed with a lot of narcissistic men and a lot of narcissistic friends. That's what I wish. I wish I started my healing journey sooner. I wish I documented my mother before she died. I wish I would have recorded her voice and took more photos, asked her more questions. So if you have loved ones, your parents are still alive, your grandparents are still alive, document them, because you never know. Document your children, your grandchildren, document everything. I'm talking video. We're in a very technology type of world. Record them. Don't wait until they're sick, because you never know. They could be healthy and pass away. Record everything. Take plenty of photos. Save everything. Record their voice. Just do it. What else would I do? Oh, always save for a rainy day. Always buy more than you need. Always be prepared for the future. And I know it's kind of hard when you're struggling, but I'm telling you, always have money for a rainy day, because you never know. Don't go to places dead broke. And I know sometimes I've done that. I've left the house, I've gone places. I mean, I think I was in Panama with just like $500, $600 in my bank account, and I still was there and I was fine. I survived. But if you got it, always buy more than you need so you can always have more or be able to give to others. Always prepare for a rainy day. If you're a woman and you have a husband who takes care of you, always save your money, girl. Have a stash somewhere just in case. Never let anybody completely take care of you financially. If they're giving you an allowance, put that money to the side just in case, because then they hold that power. I've seen a lot of women in my family suffer because of this, because they trusted their husbands. All right. And that's one thing I ain't gonna front. My narcissistic grandmother, she wasn't like that. She died a millionaire. So that is my goal too. I want to leave this planet. Before I leave this planet, I want to be able to be a millionaire. And I don't know how that's going to happen, but I believe it could happen. Self-love will save your ass from a lot. I don't think that if you don't love yourself, I don't think you should be in a relationship. I keep saying it over and over again. I think it's very dangerous. I think when you don't love yourself, you choose horrible friends and horrible lovers. And that's my advice, guys. Self-love will save you every time. And do things scared. Scared to start that business? Do it anyway. Scared to go tell that person you love them? Do it anyway. Scared to go on that trip? Do it anyway. Just do it scared. Don't be a punk. Just do it. Because if not, you're going to have a boring life. You're not going to have many experiences. And you're going to have a lot of regrets. You're going to wish you did it. Do it scared. Do it fearful. All right, guys. Thank you so much for all your support on my channel. If you've ever donated to me, thank you. If you've ever clicked like, thank you. If you've ever commented underneath my post, thank you. If you've ever told someone about my channel, thank you. Or even my TikTok, thank you. Only thing I want for my birthday is financial blessings. That's the truth. That's it. If you can't afford it, I want a birthday gift. I even made an Amazon wish list. I'm going to add that in the comment section. I picked a couple of things that I desire or need. And if you don't want to give me money, you can buy me a gift off of Amazon. They will ship it to my house. That's all I want. Can't afford to get me anything or give me anything. Don't pray for me, because every time you get praying for me, my life go downhill. Don't even pray for me. Don't pray for me. Just say happy birthday. That's it. Happy birthday. Happy solar return. And just think positive thoughts of me. That is all I want. Okay? Thanks again. Thank you in advance for all the birthday wishes. If you decide to send me birthday money or a birthday gift, thank you in advance. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.